Well, um, where do we start? That's the question. You start with losing $30,000 from a friend who more or less stole it from you? Or do you start from launch? Not everybody has heard the story of how we started Dual AI. Isaac, my twin brother, who refused to be on camera today, he called me and he said, "Hey, got this idea. Let's drop out of college. I think we're gonna make a lot of money." And boy, was that the understatement. I guess that was the overstatement of the year. Um, it's been 3 years of doing this. We've hardly made any money. Um, hopefully that changes. But anyway, we dropped out, and he's like, "I got this idea." And so he's like, "We're gonna start a marketing business and more or less a go high level sub account that was customized for automating real estate agents day to day and workflow." He's like, "There's a lot of opportunity in the real estate world." And how he knew that, I had no idea. But uh, so I actually remember leaving. At the time, I was playing baseball in college, and I actually remember leaving practice and to going into meetings with these brokers. Gosh, looking back on it, we had no idea what we were doing. And I'm surprised anybody actually listened to us. He actually came over and we got a book, a pamphlet from an open house. And it had a bunch of real estate agents' numbers in there, and I started cold calling. And boy, that was a terrible experience. I got cussed out, hung up on. And I really didn't know what I was doing, right? Because it's 3 years ago at this point, and I'm still a college athlete and trying to think that I'm, playing baseball. And so as time progressed, we we ended up getting our first deal. And so we got in there, we were thrilled. We got turned down so many times. Fortunately, people would listen to us and hear us out. And we talked to hundreds of real estate agents, not just here, but actually around the nation. And so after I graduated college um, and played my last baseball game, I decided I had two options. I could go continue to play college baseball, or I could drop out and do this with Isaac. And so I decided to go for it. I gave up my dream of playing baseball, and this is my dream now. And yeah, we go all in. Um, we start setting meetings with these real estate agents, and they listen to us, and we come to identify that there are some main problems. One, the MLS technology looked like it hadn't been updated since, oh gosh, the early 2000s. It was clunky, hard to do research in, and most real estate agents have to be in there every day. So, like, we had we knew that was an issue, and they haven't changed for a long time. So we identified that as a problem, and then second, like, the technology isn't good. It's inaccurate, and it needs to be fixed. And then third, it's hard to automate somebody's day-to-day process when they don't have any leads coming in, and they don't know how to do marketing. So those were some main issues for real estate agents that we had discovered and sat with, and that was the consensus and the conception of Dual AI. Um, so at the same time, we pivoted on dual marketing, and we went after business owners, not just real estate agents, but business owners to do social media, organic content, paid ads. And since that company's kind of taken off, and I'm sitting here in our office, and we've worked with clients across 18 different states, and so that has really been funding Dual AI for the past almost 3 years. because Dual AI still hasn't made a lot of money. But yeah, so we started the real estate business, and we identified a problem. And Isaac actually, in college, when he was still in college, before he dropped out, was one of the first people using OpenAI ChatGPT on his campus, and he actually had a business writing sorority girls papers via ChatGPT because they had no idea. Colleges didn't know at that time. It was the spring of 2023, early 2023, and so nobody knew, and it was awesome. And so he was shared the technology with me. I started using it for my classes too, and I thought it was amazing. So anyway, with that knowledge, we knew we could leverage something and change the way that real estate agents operate in their day to day. With that being said, this wasn't just another, ChatGPT wrapper. This wasn't just a lovable product that we threw together in 6 months. No, this was at the foundation of when the world started to find about AI. We started development and started asking around how to figure out how to build this AI for real estate agents. And we actually got introduced from one of my good friends. Introduced me to one of his buddies, and we became okay friends. And he's like, "Hey, I know how to do this. I got a software development company." He's like, "I can do this for you." So he gets us a bid together. I think it was like close to 30,000. And we're like, us being naive and not really knowing what to do, and we're like, "Hey, if we can get you all this money up front, could this be done sooner?" And of course, he says, "Yeah, well, obviously." So we go and we gather money from angel investors. Let's call them that. It was really family members, and so we go and we gather that money, and we got them $23,000 cash, and then the rest we covered. So we got him that money within a matter of like 2 days, and so he gets started on the project. 6 months down the line, we still haven't received anything. Didn't really know what was going on, and yeah, we have a meeting because we had scheduled a meeting with the MLS system, and so our first initial meeting. It's kind of funny how we kind of played that out. We had a client that we were working for redoing their website, and so we needed IDX feed, and so we were kind of planting seeds there to be able to even get the meeting set. So we ended up getting the meeting set with the MLS and talked to one individual from the MLS. And so we're about 7 days away from that meeting, and we still don't have a product. We're 2 months late at this point. Not even a prototype. Not even, honestly, really not even a demo. And I'm thinking to myself, well, shit, the heck's going on? Long story short, we go in there and we present an idea, a conceptual idea. We didn't really have much. We just had these ideas on paper and really didn't even have a working prototype. And so we basically lost $30,000 with an idea and say we presented, and they said, "Okay, awesome, cool," but we kept going because that's what we do. And so we had lost $30,000, and then we go out to California, and we are doing some work out there, and we get hooked up with a different investor, and they wanted like way too much for our company for too little, so we said no to that. And then we eventually ran into another investor who gave us exactly what we were looking for. Come to find out, that wasn't the greatest partnership. We had to split ways, and reasons that I can't necessarily discuss. But fast forward to the next year. And so we've been working on development this whole time, talking to real estate agents, improving the product as well as the system. Isaac and the team had put together a phenomenal system, and it's not just using AI. It is advanced learning and reasoning and algorithms that we have put together. We had to clean up a lot of data. I can't really talk about that very well because I have a very basic level of understanding when it comes to that. But fast forward to a year, we managed to get another meeting with the MLS, and we have a product, a working product at this point. Um, and it's good, but it's not great. And so we go into the meeting with the MLS, and we actually meet with two individuals, three individuals, and they were interested. They liked the product, and to be fair, we were nowhere close to being able to deploy to all their users. But they asked questions, and their main concerns were age, lack of experience, which is fair. But I mean, you think about it, great software companies have founders that are extremely young. Steve Jobs was young, 20 when he started Apple. Zuckerberg was, I think, 19 when he started Facebook, and the list just goes on and on. So that really didn't understand that, but that's okay. Uh, he said we had a lack of funding, which we did. We have built this on a box of scraps compared to most technology companies, and but what we've been able to achieve with a box of scraps is blow everybody out of the water. One, with the accuracy, and then two, with the experience and how it operates. And the other thing that he said was, how do you expect to compete with big players? And Isaac boldly stood up and said, with all due respect, sir, I think they should be worried about competing with me. And so we get turned down again, and but it was encouraging. They had some good feedback, and made some suggestions. So we took the suggestions that they made, and we got a team. We got more investors, and we got an actual backing. And that's when we made a partnership with one of our partners. And so at this point, the product really wasn't. It was operational, but wasn't really working. And so over the next 6 months, next 4 months, we get it working, and it's not just working. It is 98.2% accurate when it comes to predicted sale price. And to put that in comparison, the next best thing put out on the market is 79% accurate. And that's a technology company that's been around since the 2012s. I think maybe even before, with millions and millions of dollars in funding. So, again, what we've been able to build with a box of scraps. If I could sum up Dual AI in one sentence, I would say it's a AI-based platform where real estate agents can come and complete their day-to-day tasks and optimize their workflows and save them hours and hours and hours of time based on the ability to chat back and forth with Dual AI. More or less, it's your assistant that you talk to, and it will complete tasks for you at the most accurate rate. We'll do research, write marketing material, do CMAs, price predictions, listing descriptions, in your tone, all analyzing the data that is the most accurate on the market, which is the MLS with public records. And so it's pretty amazing what we've been able to create. So anyway, let's get back on topic. We go back to the MLS, this time with a full team, and we're able to present to multiple people, members of the board. But before we go and get into that meeting, we meet separately with individuals that are connected to the MLS board and have some influence. And so we had those meetings, great meetings, had some great feedback, and seemed to love the product. And so we go into the MLS, this third meeting, and this product is night and day different from what they saw 4 or 5 months ago. We have a full team, we have funding, and I mean, I would say we are legit at this point. And we still get turned down. We had done everything that they asked. And that was tough. That was really tough. Didn't necessarily understand because they loved the product and they said that. They said, again, our age, and we didn't have enough users, which I respect the users part, but the age, it doesn't make any sense to me. Because my age doesn't define how intelligent I am or the ability that I have to make the product what it is and serve my clients. So the age thing still doesn't sit well with me today, and it's not going to matter. But we even offered to give it completely to all the users for free, and they still said no. So I was a little shocked by that. But after that meeting, it was a pretty big shot in the heart, considering we had worked very hard to get to that point, and it was 3 meetings of saying no, and you do everything that they ask you to, and they still say no. And so we pivoted, and we went directly to agents. It is a lot harder, grittier road to get there, but we had a brokerage willing to beta test it. We had 2 actually. And so we had a handful of people, maybe 5 people from one brokerage. And then we had about 25 from another brokerage. And so they test it, they break it, and we make the fixes and the upgrades. And man, the product that we have now, thanks to those users continuing to test it and make it better and improve it, is night and day above anything else on the market. I mean, I truly believe that Duel AI is going to revolutionize the way that real estate agents operate in their day-to-day. It is going to become the core tool that real estate agents use. I believe that. So we can go ahead and mark that one down, because here in the next 5 years when it is, you can look back on that and be like, wow. But we test it, we make the upgrades, and then we start getting some traction. Now, keep in mind, throughout this whole time, we're running a full-scale marketing business. And that had its own set of hurdles to overcome there. I don't even want to get into that, but we made bad partnerships there. And that had its own set of hurdles. And granted, that was full-time, but the only way that we were able to fund Duel AI was from our investments and the investors, but also we were putting our own money and just trying to survive since the marketing business, with the funds from the marketing business. And so this whole time we had built the best tool on the market while also running a full-time marketing business, which sometimes we would generate $50,000 a month in revenue. But running a full-time marketing business on top of this. So fast forward to, let's call it October of this year, October 2025. We go to a local broker and we're like, hey, let's make a deal. And so then we sign up all his agents. He's got 143 agents. Free for 30 days, and then we sign up all 143 agents. And the feedback that we're receiving is overwhelmingly positive. But of course, we kind of figured that, because most real estate agents, besides a select few here and there, those I've been doing real estate for 30 years, I know better than you and your technology. Okay, lady, you don't, but that's fine. There's only a select few of those people out there. But overwhelmingly, the positive feedback was it was overwhelming. And so now we're here today, November, about midway through November, and we have started applying to VC funds, trying to raise money. Because if we can get $1 million to put into this thing, I know that it is going to revolutionize the way that real estate agents do their job day to day. Right now, the product's really good, and it is absolutely worth our price that we're charging, which is $15 a month. But to make it even better is what we're aiming for. We're not aiming for just good. We're not aiming for just great. We're aiming for revolutionary. Something that is so unique and such an industry disruptor that those big companies are worried about us. And that's what we're going for. We're not just going for something that's okay and we're going to get a few users. No, this dual AI is going to be the way that real estate agents think about their real estate operations. It's going to be their go-to tool that can't operate without dual AI. That's where it's heading, and that's where it's going. And once we receive the funding, that is where it's going to go. So there's really two routes that we get there. One, we get the VC money and we really get rolling, and then two, we just get a ton of users on. And so currently we have about 200 users, and I'm really hoping that we can get to 500 or so by the end of January. We have some pretty big meetings coming up and some pretty big connections. But I firmly believe that the more users that we have on, the more feedback that we get from people, the better it's going to make the product. And Dual AI is going to be not just good, not just great, but actually disrupt the industry at a level that people are shocked that two college dropouts were able to achieve such a phenomenal product. And it's going to revolutionize the way that real estate agents operate in their day-to-day. There's 5 years from now, real estate agents aren't going to know how to, especially the new ones, it's going to be their go-to tool, and they're going to have to operate through Dual AI. That's how I see it. Because if you're not going to change with the times and keep up with the technology, then you're just not going to be as efficient. It's just not going to work in your business, and you're going to lose a step, and you're going to lose a step, and then pretty soon these new agents using these new tools are going to pass you up. And that's where I see it. So over the next, let's call it 3 to 4 months, I think we're going to get 1,500 users on. You can mark it down today. And I don't just think that naively. I believe that because, one, I believe in the product. Two, I believe in ourselves. Because we shouldn't even be in the position that we're in right now. And before I want to mention this is the only reason that we're in the position that we're in right now is because the Lord has opened doors for us and we've just walked through. So I firmly believe in that. But that being said, that's kind of a little bit about our story. I would say that we're naive, kind of, for continuing to go after having so many things happen. That's just kind of a brief overview, not like in super detail of the story of Dual AI. And hopefully, I'm watching this 3 months from now, and I turn it on, and we got into YC or we got VC funding, and we have 2,000 to 3,000 users on. That would be awesome. And I'm not going to say hopefully, but I think it's going to happen. I think it's logical. So if you watched to this point, I would say, and you're a real estate agent, just sign up. See what you think. I'm not full of shit. The product is phenomenal. Try it for yourself. It's free for 30 days. So, yeah, that's the story of Dual AI.